Summer on the beat, oh get up and shake your cheeks.
Yeah. So, you heard that how my voice got deeper? Yeah. Hello and welcome to The Middle is Open. Abel Carrillo here, along with Anthony Espelin.
What's up, everybody?
And right beside me, we have Patrick Espelin.
Oh yeah, what's up, guys? How you guys been?
Pretty good, man. Pretty good. This sharing the mic thing is kind of weird, but we'll get through the show.
I'll just yell from a distance.
No, but Anthony, what you been up to? What's the last few cities that you've visited?
I've been a lot in Florida. Went to Ohio, which was interesting. But a lot in Florida, man. It was hot and humid, so that was a lot of fun.
Hot
Sweating
and
it out,
humid.
yeah.
How many times did your balls stick to your thigh?
From the time I woke up until the time I went to sleep.
What's the hottest city you've been to this summer?
Well, El Paso was definitely the hottest. When I came back for the weekend, I was like, "Holy shit, we'd over 100." So that was pretty
Yeah.
hot. But it's just the humidity, man. It was what killed me.
Yeah, the
It
humidity.
was like 92% humidity there. So I mean, it was
Damn.
a jungle, bro. It was crazy.
That's fucking wild. 90.
Yeah.
This guy. Pat, what you been up to, man?
Nothing, man. Just fucking work, and then had a baby. Shout out, little Miles.
Yeah,
Thank
shout
you,
out.
guys. Thank you. Yeah, man. So just kind of been struggling for sleep, struggling for everything, oxygen, but doing great.
Fucking oxygen. Well, you need oxygen, man. This show, it's kind of our little kickoff to getting guests back in. And we're going to go with our big friend over here, Gerry. Like, we've had you on the show in the past. He's been one of our favorite guests to have because he always keeps it real. He always has a really good time with us. What you been up to, man?
Hey, once again, guys, thank you for having me. I'm always excited to come and hang out with you guys. As usual, I've been working, as a cut man, traveling. I've been in a couple of cities as well, like Atlanta. I was in Puerto Rico for a while as well.
Damn.
So I know how hot it is and the humidity, because down there it's 100% humidity.
Yeah.
And so just been working, traveling, learning from some of the best cutmans. And
Oh,
here
yeah.
in a couple of weeks, I'll be traveling to San Antonio for Fury FC.
Oh,
So,
hell yeah, man. That's sick. That's
Excited
sick.
for that.
All right, really quick question before you introduce us to your other guests. What's hotter, the women or the weather in Puerto Rico?
Oh, the women for sure.
The women?
Oh,
Okay.
that's there's no doubt about that.
That's the acceptable hot.
Yeah,
Like,
that's the acceptable.
oh, yeah, for sure. All right, man. Gerry, who are the guys that you have right beside you?
I'm gonna let them introduce themselves. I have Leon Hernandez. Go ahead, Leon.
My name is Leon. I'm an amateur boxer. This is my coach, but yeah, I have my own business, and just getting ready for these fights coming up.
Oh, yeah, dude. Sweet. Who do we have right beside you?
I'm Randy McCarty. Wreck-It Randy is my fight name. 42 professional fights so far. My goal is to hit 50 before I turn 50. I know I'm an old guy, but I have fun fighting, and I still compete, so that's good.
Bro, there is no way you're about to be 50 years old.
I'm 49.
No way, dude.
Yeah.
You look great, bro.
Thanks.
No way.
It's all the tattoos that hide the age.
It's wild. I remember, like, when I was growing up, when you hit 40, like, you were old, and guys looked like fucking old at 40. Now you see like a 50, 60-year-old, and you're like, God damn, that motherfucker looks like he's 30. And I'm like, dude, like, you look good, man. You look
Thanks.
good for 49. That's wild.
For 49. That's the problem.
No, but like, no, for 49, that's freaking wild. Like, you look like tremendous.
Thank you. 49. Yeah.
Yeah, we just had birthdays
Yeah.
not too long ago.
How old are you, Jerry?
I just turned 43.
Dude, both y'all. All of y'all. How old are you, man?
25.
25, damn.
He's the baby.
Yeah, you still
I'm
the
the
kid.
youngin.
You said you have your own business?
Yeah, that's what it's $1 billion player.
What is that?
So it stands for we're playing the game, chasing our dreams. So the game is life, and
yeah?
we're chasing our dreams. It's whatever you want. Is
That's
your
badass,
goal.
dude. Fuck yeah, I respect that.
Appreciate it.
That's dope.
All right. So the reason I wanted to bring you guys in, just I like I was telling you before the show started, like I'm a fan of boxing. I'm a fan of MMA, and right now I don't know. It's been hard for me to find like some of these marquee fights, these events, and I wanted to just talk to you guys about your experience, each and every one of you, because it sounds like Gerry, he's got his side of the story on like what he does as a coach, as a cut man, and everything he brings. We have two fighters here. We have a savvy veteran over here that has had his experience. It sounded like you've been abroad. You've gone places.
I've gone everywhere, yeah.
Yeah, and then we have a youngster over here in the amateur game. So I would like for you guys just to talk about your experiences, and we'll start over here and then just kind of work our way down.
Okay, so I've fought anywhere from New York to Arizona. Like I haven't done California or Nevada or nothing. From Utah, Colorado, Texas, and I think it's about 12 fights in Mexico. And so I would fight in Ireland. I'd fight wherever they let me fight. I had a fight in Canada set up, and then COVID screwed that up.
When did you start fighting?
I fought my whole life, but as a pro, I went at 39. I turned pro.
Okay.
So,
Oh yeah.
so it's been 10 years as a pro.
And you, man?
I've been fighting for about 10 years. I stopped for 3. I just came back 3 years ago. Trying to get back into it. Where I got these guys helping me out, showing me the ropes, little things, and yeah, I'm just trying to take it as far as I can.
So you're currently fighting. You're in boxing, correct?
Yes.
And how is that working out for you?
It's actually working out pretty good. Better than it's actually, it's working out the way I kind of been planning on.
Yeah.
Because that's just been my goal my whole life, is just to box, and I just loved it since I was little.
Yeah. And Gerry, since the last time we talked to you, what's been up, man? What's going on? Like, why did you decide to bring these guys in?
Well, first of all, these are my friends. I've known Randy since Red Spider days, training down in Anthony.
Yeah.
With Johnny Guillen, Daryl Schoonover,
Yeah.
and all of them. So, and also Leon, he's one of my boxers. We've been cleaning up his game, trying to get him improved, because eventually he wants to go pro. So that's one of the reasons I wanted to bring him over, give them some exposure.
Yeah.
Get to talk about sports, and like you said, these guys have their experience in different levels. So we're always talking about boxing. We're always talking about the fight game. So it's one of the reasons why I brought them in, because, we all got to work together, plan together, we fight together. I've been Randy's cut man for several years now, as well. So I worked a lot of his fights, from Utah, Colorado, Mexico, a couple of fights we've been down there, with Leon. We've been working for about a year now together straight, and he's been improving a lot. I try to take him, try to get him as much sparring as we can.
Tournaments.
There's because a lot of times coaches, somebody loses and they don't want to work with them anymore for whatever reason, but that's not how we do things. As a coach, you have to maintain that no matter what, whether they win or lose. There's coaches out there that they just want those winning fighters. Not me. I work with everybody. Especially as a cut man. As a cut man, that's mainly what I do. But right now, the only person I'm coaching is Leon, and that's how I like it. Either way, because it's just one person I have to worry about. Too many people. But going back to what you asked, like you said, nowadays it's really hard to see those fights that we want to see. Like you said, those marquee fights. Everybody's getting into that point where I'm the champion. I get to choose who I want to fight. Try to make it easy. I don't want to lose. My goal. So that's what happens a lot.
I wanted to talk to you, Leon, because you say you're 25 years old. You're an amateur fighter. What was it that like got you into the game? Because I mean, growing up, like I was telling you guys earlier, like I've always been a fan of boxing, and I always found that boxing was a young man's sport. However, you're 25, and you're an amateur fighter, and you're trying to live out your dream. You're trying to do your thing, and you know, make a name for yourself. When did you transition to, okay, boxing, I'm gonna take it a little more serious and see where it takes me, and especially at a later age, I would say.
The reason I transitioned was because of some life situations where I was just heading on a wrong path. So once I found the gym again, Doñana, it just opened up a path where like this is what I want to do. This is me, you know, like this is my true self.
Yeah.
And that's what made me want to do it. So that's when I became. I created this brand for that, but I created this years ago. So when I started putting it out, just pushing it out more, and just because there's a lot of people that they have dreams and they have goals, but there's something in their life that stops them, like something dark just stops them, and they just stop their dreams and they give up on it. And I want to show people like you can always overcome that, and you could just get back to what you always believed in yourself and your dreams.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. I remember when we had Johnny Guillen on the show, and he kind of talked about how he got his start in boxing, and he was actually, what was he, like 29, 30, something like that?
When he went
and he was just like, it was something that I just wanted to do.
Right.
Like I always thought about it. I always thought like, man, it would be cool to do it. And then one day he just said like, let's fucking go. Let's do it. Let's do this. And I think that's like really beautiful. Like it's something that, you know, you never know what you're capable of doing. And sometimes we limit ourselves because we feel like we've already passed our prime, or you know, it should have happened between the ages of 15 or 22 or whatever. Like and I think it's like that traditional thought, like it's like if you can escape that, you're capable of like doing stuff for yourself that will take you a little bit further. And so I don't know, man. Randy, I mean, your experience as a boxer, as a fighter in general, how has it been, like your journey? Because I mean, like I said, you are that savvy vet. You've experienced a lot. How'd you get into the game? But then, like, what have you seen in your journey, in your career?
So I started off competing in martial arts when I was 2. And I've done karate and all this stuff, and I had fun with it, but it was just, you just got plastic trophies, right? And then I got my face beat in on the street one time. And I got all my trophies that I had, these pretty trophies, a whole wall full of them, and I threw them all away. My mom was like, what? I was like, these are junk. And I was so mad that I couldn't really fight, right? And then, long story short, I got married, had kids, went to the Navy. I fought in the Navy. My captain of my ship caught me fighting and was like freaked out. We're bloods everywhere, and we're like, we're having fun. So he started pimping me out to different ships, and I would fight other people, and he'd bet on me, and I'd make money off of it, or he'd make money off of it. And then after that, when I got out of the Navy, I wanted to stay in shape, but I think just lifting weights is boring. Very boring. But punching people in the face is fun. So you got to stay in shape one way or the other. And so I work out to stay in shape for fights, and then I try and keep myself healthy. And so whenever I first started, I really just wanted to fight just so that I could stay in shape. And then I started beating up other pros that were in our gym, and my coach is like, I think it's time for you to go pro. All right. So I went pro, went 3-0 straight, tried out for the Ultimate Fighter. But their requirement was you had to be 33 or less, and I was 39. And I tried out, and they're like, the only thing's holding you back is your age. I'm like, so that year, that was the season that Dana White posted saying, everybody's trying to just survive. Nobody's out there to fight, no killers. Everybody's just trying to tiptoe through it. And I said, I wrote him back. I was like, but you wouldn't let the 39-year-old fight. I smacked him. But, I mean, I really like the competition of fighting. So whether it's boxing or MMA or kickboxing or bare knuckle, I'm gonna fight. and I want challenging fights. It's nice to get a win, but if you get a win from a guy that's at your level or a little bit better, man, if that's the fire that you feel good at.
Yeah.
You knock out a dude in 30 seconds, you're like, was that real?
Did you test yourself, or like that's the question you're asking?
Yeah,
Like,
is this really a win?
Yeah.
You know, I want challenging. I want the challenge and to go through that challenge. So I don't want murderers. You know, I've had offers for guys that were like 25-0 with 24 knockouts, wanting to fight me for $2,000. I'm like, no. You know, they're like, dude, why? He's 6'6", you know, all this stuff.
Yeah.
Like, I want somebody that's I want a fair fight, right? If you've had that many fights and you're going to offer me a 4-round fight for $2,000, like, you're just padding your record.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to be that pad. I want a fair fight. You know, I don't mind fighting big guys. I've fought really big guys, but I just want to be able to have a competitive fight and entertain other people. But really, it's more about me testing my knowledge and my ability to function when your head's rocked.
Getting into the fight game at your age and everything, was it something that, like you say, you just wanted to test yourself? You wanted to see what you were capable of doing. Did you ever feel like this was like a career to, you know, go as far as you can, or was it more of just a personal goal of yours?
Well, I mean, you get dreams, right? Like, I went 3-0 and as my first 3 pro fights in MMA, and it was within 2 months. I had 3 pro fights. I won all. I just walked through people, right? I'm like, heck yeah, I'm gonna do this. I'm going to the UFC, blah blah blah. But the UFC doesn't want me. Like, I'm too old. I'm actually a fighter. Like, I'll accept fights for, you know, they want the pretty boy. They want the persona, and I'm not that. I'm not the guy to go talking. Like, Henry Cejudo is a really, really nice guy, right? And he does the cringe thing because he tries to be mean, but he fails so bad. So everybody just goes like, you know, I like the dude. I like him a lot, but he's not a mean dude, right? And he can't talk smack. But he can beat the heck out of people. He's a bad man when it comes to fighting. And like, I started off at the back end of what most people are retiring at. I started at. Yeah. And like you're saying, that's a young man's game. People say that to me all the time. This year has been the hardest year for me to get fights. Normally I get between 6 and 7 fights a year, and it's already been a struggle this year for my fights because of my age. Okay. And that's frustrating to me because the people that they're getting to fight, I feel I could beat them up. You know, so it's like, man, that's not fair, but it's their perception, right? And I think that's an excuse people use. I have that at the gym all the time. Oh, you're a pro fighter? Man, I would love to do that stuff. I was like, yeah, well, then do it. Oh, I'm just too old. I go, oh, yeah? So how old are you? Right? And they're like, oh, man, I'm old, bro. I'm 36. Okay. You know, I was like, that's just an excuse. If you want to do something, freaking do it. You know, I don't care what age you are. You might not be able to do it fast, but do it.
Yeah. What are some of the promotions that have, because you say it's been hard for you to get some of these fights because of your age and stuff, like these bigger promotions like the UFC, the Bellators, all these other organizations out here, like you said, they're not really looking for, you know, let's say they get that 45-year-old, 46-year-old, but then you know, they need that longevity. They need that guy to build around, you know. Like
the hard part is it's who you know, not what you know. So I have the phone number to Bellator's matchmaker, and I have bugged him for years. Yeah. Hey, thanks, champ. Hey, thanks, bro. I appreciate you letting us know. I'll be looking. Blah blah blah. That's all he does, right? UFC, I don't know the people to be able to bug enough to do it. I've talked with LFA. LFA's coming to El Paso soon, and I tried getting into that fight, and they're just not interested, and that's okay. I mean, you don't have to be interested, but I sell tickets, you know, especially local. I sell tickets, and BKFC, they've offered me fights, and then I was accepted the 2 fights they've offered me. One was in Florida. Florida wouldn't commission wouldn't license me.
Oh.
The second one, the guy that they offered me, they offered me to him, and his coach said no.
Yeah.
And I mean, if you're trying to be a career for you, right? And you're going to go fight this guy, and he's 49 years old, and he beats the heck out of you. That kind of screws your record up. So people go, I'm not going to let you fight him. You know, so they try to protect their fighters in that way as well. But it'd be nice just to get fights.
Yeah.
and not get arrested for them, right? Like not going to the bar to get a fight. But
Yeah, I mean, I see it. Like, they're very hesitant. It's like, you know, yeah. It's like,
well, I'm durable. You know, I've been stopped, but I'm a tough fighter. I'm able to. I'm not afraid of bleeding. I don't care. You know, so you see some fighters, they as soon as they see their own blood, they change as a fighter in that fight. They might not say they're not afraid of it or whatever, but their actions show it. And I don't care if I'm bleeding or not. I'm going to fight you until I go to sleep. Let's fight. You know.
Yeah. Gerry, Leon, this question's like kind of for both of you. At this moment, like I said, you're starting your career and everything. How has the process been for you to get fights? And then Gerry, you as his coach, what is it that, how do you guide Leon on his journey to, you know, gradually progressing?
Usually, if I see that there's a tournament or there's some fights coming up, I'll just talk to him about it, and then I'll let him decide if he wants to sign up for it. All right, because as a boxing amateur, an amateur boxing, it's different than a pro fight, right? You usually don't have any information on your opponents.
Yeah.
You know, you don't even know who you're fighting till you get there. A lot of times. So most of the times is I let him decide. Hey, do you want to go to this tournament or do you want to go do this competition? Once he decides on doing it, he'll sign up because they have an app or whatever, or we'll talk to the coaches that are setting up that show, have him sign up for it, you know, with his weight, whatever weight he's going to be at.
Yeah.
And then, of course, he's an elite boxer. He's considered elite. So that's pretty much how we decide on doing it. So it's different than being a pro boxer.
Okay.
So it's actually I want to fight as much as I can just to get the experience. So whenever he tells me, I go for it. Right now I'm just trying to get to 147s to do what I can to fight in my best. My bad. to fight at my best, because right now I've just been walking around just too heavy.
Yeah.
But
How tall are you?
me, like 5'11".
Do you ever? It sounds like you guys like go back and forth. You guys share conversations. Is there ever a time where you might feel that you're ready to, you know, take on take a fight or whatever, or you know, there's an organization that's asking, and you kind of have like a little conversation with your coach over here, and what's some of the advice that he gives you? And Gerry, do you pull back on the reins a little bit? Do you kind of, I mean, at the end, he's kind of like your baby, you know. Like sometimes we see as a coach, your students, you try to, you don't want to deprive them of opportunity, but you also want to guide them, you know.
Yeah.
So
that's what we work on. Just hand placement, keeping my hands up. Just little things like that, just to keep me protected at all times and making sure I'm not getting hit too much in the head. Just the little things like that keep me protected at all times. And how he's a cut man, so he knows it. He knows it all.
So, and then to add to that, yes, there's times where I have to pull the reins back.
Yeah.
You know, there's times where I'm like, no, you're not ready for that tournament. Let's wait. Let's give ourselves more time to compete, right? Same thing. But if he wants to do it, ultimately, I let him decide when he wants to do it. Same thing goes for sparring and training. There's, you know, there's a lot of coaches out there that obviously never competed, never been punched in the face. So they push their guys to spar 3, 4, 5 times a week, hard sparring, and you're not taking care of your boxers.
No.
You know, this comes with longevity. There's times where I have to tell them no sparring for the rest of the week
Literally.
because I want him to, if he's still young, right?
Yeah.
So he needs to be taken care of. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? There's times where there's coaches at a gym that are like, "Hey, Leon," you know, because he knows he's not going to turn it down,
Yeah.
right? They know he's not going to turn it down, but now I've been telling them, no, fuck them. If they ask you to fucking spar, don't spar.
Yeah.
All right, we'll get you sparring. I'll get him sparring. I'll take him. I've taken him to Phoenix. We went to Lubbock. He wasn't even competing, but I took him to Lubbock to get sparring over there.
Yeah.
You know, but after we came back from that trip, I told him no more sparring for the rest of the week because you have to take care of these fighters.
Yeah.
It's the same thing as a pro, right? He wants to go pro, so we have to take care of him now so that later on he could still compete, right?
I was gonna ask you, like, it's important to have good relationships with everyone in the game, right?
Right.
But how hard is it? Like right now, you were like, no, fuck it, man. Like, fuck them. Like at the end of the day, he's your fighter. You got to protect him. What is it like? And I'm not saying call out so and so gym or whatever, but like, how hard is it to communicate with? Because obviously, there's a lot of fighters out there that bounce around gym to gym because they want to help one another. But what is it like just keeping everyone on the same page, keeping everyone happy, trying to work together to improve everyone to improve?
That's on the person, right? Mostly on the person, right? Like in MMA, or like you see MMA, or like I do with Leon, I'll take them to different gyms. You know, I've taken them to Zen. I'll take them to different boxing gyms where there's different, you know, there's different types of styles, right? And I don't have a problem with him going to all the gyms to train, right? As long as he tells me that he's going to go, that's fine. Go ahead and go train. But it's up to him to know that he's got one gym, one team,
Yeah.
and and that's what he has to keep, right? There's no issues, right? Like even with MMA as a pro fighter, you know, Randy goes to different gyms to train.
Yeah,
but his home gym is Briggs, right?
Yeah.
With Jesse Briggs, and that's it.
Yeah.
That's his choice at the end, right? I'm gonna represent my gym, and that's what I'm gonna stick with,
Yeah.
right? And that's pretty much on the boxer or the fighter to do that, you know. I don't have a problem with him. It's just the boxing game and MMA world are totally different.
But I also communicate with my coach, letting him know what I'm going to do, and making sure it's cool with him, right?
Yeah.
Secondly, if people are asking me to come spar, normally they're setting up their fighter.
Yeah.
Right? So why do they want me to spar? Because I'm a southpaw? Because I'm old?
Yeah.
Because, like, there's a lot of reasons why you got to understand. And if I'm going to, there's gyms in Cruces and in El Paso that when they invite me to go, I will have somebody there in my corner. I don't just go by myself to go spar with them.
Sure.
Because they're coaching all their guys, and I'm just here being a punching bag, a moving punching bag. Right, and that's not cool. I've sparred with Austin, and I've sparred in his gym. He's come to my gym and sparred, and it's a lot different when it's in my gym than whenever I'm in his gym.
Yeah.
Right, and I've learned through mistakes that you go to another person's gym, you have somebody there that cares about you.
Yeah.
Because it's not. I mean, it's like going to somebody else's lion's den, you know, and you got to make sure that you're being taken care of just as they need their work. I have no problem helping people work, but I also need to be able to be protected and have somebody coaching me. So it's never a one-man thing. You see one man in the ring or in the cage, but it's never a one-man thing.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I've always thought about that. Like, of course, like, I mean, we see the fights on TV and everything like that. The last 10 years or so, we've had the opportunity, thanks to like what HBO did as well as Showtime. They kind of give you the behind the scenes look of how camps work and how they bring in fighters and things like that. But I always thought, like, man, it must be a slippery slope when it comes to, bringing guys in from other gyms, trying to get this guy to emulate this fighter or whatever it may be. And then you got to throw in, like, well, what's my incentive? Like, what the fuck am I doing here? And things like that. So, and like, just hearing, like, your guys' little insight here, it's pretty remarkable what you guys have to deal with and, stuff like that.
And there's times where gyms will offer a sparring day where they try to bring as many gyms together.
Yeah.
And it almost looks like you're about to fight. Because there's gyms where they don't like you, you don't like them, but you got to spar them anyways because they're there, right?
Yeah.
But that's just how it is. You just keep it professional. You go, you have them go in there and you take care of them. You know, there's times where he's sparring and he'll do 3 or 4 rounds and I'll be like, yep, that's it. You're not doing no more. That's it. You're done. You got hit way too many times.
And what is it, like, let's say they bring in Leon and the coaches say, hey, we want to go 3 or 4 rounds, whatever. And they're obviously trying to, let's say, I'm just giving you a scenario, but maybe they're trying to prepare their guy in a way and Leon's got the best,
jab or whatever.
Yeah, like he's going to be able to emulate that guy's opponent. You as his coach, you're ultimately trying to protect him. Maybe Leon got hit a few too many times or whatever, and their coach or their trainer is saying, hey, let's go one more or whatever. How do you I guess what's the word, like, keep it cordial? How do we keep it friendly, like, between the two coaches, the two trainers? They like, hey,
you just keep it professional. You
Yeah.
keep it professional, and they know, you both know, right? And then you see what level the other guy is on, too, right?
But has there ever been a moment where the trainer of the home gym is saying, come on, man, like, or,
Yeah, there's times that happens because they wanna push their guy, or they want to push my guy, but ultimately you have to put your foot down. Like, no, that's it. You got your work in. You both got your work in. That's it. You have to. You know what I mean? Because Leon, he'll keep going.
Yeah.
His heart, when he gets in there, you'll keep going till you got to kill him.
Yeah.
And so you have to tell him, no, that's it. And that's what I like about Leon. Leon is learning to listen to me so much more now that he'll just, okay, and he realizes, okay, I won't spar. That's it.
And that's kind of brings you back to the point of the importance of taking someone from your team that's going to have your best interest, that's going to watch your back.
Right.
Because,
I mean,
if you are in that
Leon, we found out before that Leon sparred before without telling anybody. And we're like, what are you doing? I'm injured. What? What do you mean you're injured? What'd you do? I went and sparred at this gym. Dude, like, who went with you? Bro. Like, and so, but that's something all of us would do. And that's why we say, no, man, you got to bring somebody with you because he's a fighter. I'm a fighter. I get dropped. I'll get back up. I'm going to go to fight again, and it's, you shouldn't. You've been rocked. You should stop.
Yeah.
And same thing. Like, the older you get, the more. I think that new fighters should spar more than older fighters, because sparring proves that you have the heart for fighting. Gets your skills and goes, oh shoot, yeah, I can hit the bag like this, but I can't hit that person like this. They punch me in the middle of it. So it helps you out in that. But the more experience you get, the less actual getting punched in the face you need.
Yeah. Right. Is there anything close to what sparring could teach you when it comes to maybe a fight situation, an in-game situation? Is there anything other than sparring?
Mitts. Yeah, mitts. I mean, but that's an offensive side of it. Like, the defensive side, you gotta drill. Over and over.
You always have to spar.
Yeah.
Always. At least you have to at least get 1 or 2 times a week.
Okay.
It just depends what level you're at. And who else it's in the gym too.
Yeah.
Right? Because you can't put somebody that's a high level with somebody that just started, right?
Yeah.
That's just doesn't make any sense, right? Unless you're drilling, right? But drills for me, more than mitts, help with when you're not actually sparring. Because the
Repetition.
drills, it comes repetition.
Yeah.
For sure. Okay. Pat, you have any questions about this?
No, I'm just kind of trying to compare it, man. It's like, I mean, they talk about like hitting the bag over and over again. I play a lot of golf, so I compare everything to golf.
Right.
So it's like, yeah, like you can be at a driving range and be hitting balls at a target, 1,000 balls.
Yeah.
And think, man, I'm fucking A1. And go to the golf course, and golf course changes
Slicing
fucking
at this,
everything.
like
Right.
That's kind of what sparring is, I would say, man.
Yeah.
Like, it's like an on-course golf lesson. Like, you got to see the elements. You got to get hit with shit like, oh, fuck, I didn't even think I could see that.
Yeah.
And, man, it just makes you a better golfer. It makes you a better fighter. So that's badass, man. I mean,
yeah, being able to go with guys way better than you sharpens you so
Oh, yeah,
quick,
yeah,
especially if they don't have an ego. Like I got to spar with Cowboy Cerrone, and the first time I sparred with Cowboy Cerrone, my heart's just racing, and I kept saying sorry, bam, sorry, and his wife comes over and bumps me, and I look over at him, and I'm like, I go sorry, and she goes, hey, quit being nice. He got you in here to spar with him because he needs you to hit him. All right, I hit him, and then he beat the heck out of me. I mean, he's a bad man, and not only him, but I've fought with a lot of different big name people, and not because I did anything good other than I was there and they were willing to punch me. But it makes you so much better. Just each time just sharpens the edge so much better.
got
I'm
to.
gonna tell them about that kid you sparred in nationals.
Oh yeah. There's this so when we're in Lubbock, we're just looking out there to spar. I just came back from my injury, but when I came back, they asked us if we wanted to spar, and I didn't even know by the end of it, end of the session, he ended up telling me he was 1-0 pro boxer, and he was solid.
He was good.
Yeah.
It was good. That was one of the times where I was like, all right, that's it.
Yeah.
Because you could tell the
Yeah.
kid was really good, but he sparred him pretty good.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
And that's what we need, right? That's why I always take them to these other gyms and try to get them good sparring, because at some of the gyms, if we go, it's not going to make sense for him to spar somebody because they're not at his level.
Okay.
We want to spar people who are
above my level.
high level boxing, regardless.
Yeah, the best of the best.
And that kid was really good.
Yeah, he was good.
But like he sparred him really good too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like he should not take too much away from himself.
Yeah.
Because on top of that, we were training and I got him really, really tired. On top of that, so he actually did really good. But as soon as the kid started boxing, I was like, this kid is a pro. But I didn't tell him.
For real.
And then I just told him how to box him, how to keep going. Push himself. The kid was so good that he was nice enough to kind of hold back some of it a little bit because you could tell the minute the kid started boxing, you could tell he was a pro boxer.
What was, I guess, the age difference, and what was, I guess, the skill difference between the two? Like, I guess, did Leon, or I guess the other boxer, did he start at an early age? Was he a lot younger?
The other kid he's like 10-time national champion.
Yeah, and then his dad was a cruiserweight champion 2 times.
A current boxing champion, cruiserweight. His dad, and they were awesome. They're from Philly. Their boxing.
So
his boxing style was really good.
It's nice.
But
you should be very proud of yourself.
Like that's what I said. I was like, look, you spar pros. You're sparring pros.
Yeah.
We sparred a pro in El Paso. I'm not gonna say names, but he pieced them up. You know what I mean?
Say his name.
And this guy is a pro.
Say names. He don't say names.
Say names.
So,
Say it in Spanish. Say it in Spanish.
Say it in Chinese.
Gerry, as a coach, you're obviously talking about your fighter here, and you're very proud of what he was able to do with this professional. What is your job though, as a coach, to maybe Leon, like he obviously went into this. He had some good moments, but you could clearly tell that this guy was on a different level. How do you keep your fighter to not get discouraged and to build them up and just to say like, hey man, like no worries, like because I know like I've played sports in the past and guys that are better than me, I get upset. I get discouraged. Sometimes that's like your worst enemy. It could bring you down. What is your job, and how do you build them back
It's a
up?
slow process, right? Because
Yeah.
he's very hard on himself.
Yeah.
So, but you have to point out slowly but surely, let him know, look at what you're doing, right? Look at what you did in this round. You know, sometimes we'll go back to the fights and point out, look at how much better your technique is. Look at how much cleaner your technique is. Look at how much less you're getting hit, right? So it's also, you know, the psychology of it, nice and slow, letting them know, look, this is what you're doing good, right? But also be stern and be like, bro, you're fucking up on this. You're not doing this. You're not doing that, right? And one of the main things we were talking about is always listening. There were times where he'd box and not listen.
Yeah.
Right? He'd go in there, but now that he's listening, he's understanding, right? And also taking him with me to different places and showing him, look, you can hang. Look at who you're training with.
Look at your skills.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Look at who you're sparring. Look at who, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that builds them up too. You know, like when was it? 2 weeks ago, his last boxing match.
Oh yeah.
I told him, I was like, we need this last round. We need this last round. You need this fucking last round. And he did. He pulled it off. He went in there, left all his gas tank out there, all of it.
Couldn't even lift my arms.
And then at the end, he's almost looking at me like, I wasn't good enough, coach. I was like, bro, the judges haven't rendered their decision yet. Don't feel down, right? And he's over there like this, shaking his head. Guess what? He wins the fight.
Yeah.
By split decision, pulled it off.
That last round, man.
And at the end, I have to, I told him, hey, good job. Look, you listened, you did what you had to do, and you won the fight.
Bro, that's probably like the coolest fucking thing about boxing. Like even like boxing movies, I know it's not the same, but like that's always like the coolest shit. Like even when you're watching my boxing, like man, like just to see like the cornerman be like, bro, like we fucking need this fucking round, just to see the boxer be like, all
Just
right,
that
man,
energy,
just dig
yeah.
deep, bro. Like I was gonna ask, like what is in that moment to where you're like, bro, like fuck yeah, like let's like, is there something in your head, like do you go back to training? Do you fucking go back to that dark space? Like what is it?
What they tell me, they just tell me to just tell that monkey to shut the fuck.
Yeah, fuck yeah,
literally.
That's fucking sick.
So I just tell myself repeatedly, just shut up, and it's actually been helping me a lot.
That's sick.
So it's just making me drive.
Dude, you're
even
giving me goosebumps right now. That's fucking lit. That's dope, bro.
We all have demons, right?
Oh yeah.
So like with golf, you're sitting there looking at it, and you're going, I don't know if I can hit this ball like this, right?
That's exactly
whatever
what I'm
it is. And with fighting, I've had you get hit hard, and all these freaking demons are going, oh, you suck, you did this, and all these things go off in your head, and it's all negative. Every negative thing that you have only slows you down. It never helps you. So I was in a fight in Utah, big old black dude. I mean, scary looking dude, right? And
Scarier than Abel?
Yeah. And I'm sitting there, and I'm looking at him. I'm probably like from me to Gerry away from him, like 3 feet away. And I go, shut up. And he looks at me, does this. I go, oh, not you, me. And he's just like, I fight a crazy guy.
Yeah.
Afterwards, he goes, are you all right, man? I go, yeah. I just had some negative thoughts after that punch. And so I had to tell him, shut up. And all the demons are like, oh, I'm sorry. Like they shut up.
Dude, tell the monkey to shut up. I'm gonna fucking start using that shit. That's dope.
It works so much because we get so much in our head, right? So
you gotta simplify shit, I guess.
shooting
Right?
the bow, I would equate shooting the bow and arrow like golfing for shooting stuff.
Oh yeah, it's all about.
And you sit there and you have to be. You gotta shake your butt the right amount of time. You gotta have your hands held right, not too tight, not too loose. All these different things. My elbows are bent like this, and you're and you running all those things as a shut up and swing the bat or swing the club or shoot the arrow or punch the person. You know, whatever it is, we have all these different elements that are just diving in on us when we need to just shut up and punch.
And also, we've been working on breathing techniques before the fight. There's times where breathe and he'll do.
Right, we do this one thing where I hold it in for 4 seconds and then let it out, and then we do that 4 times in a row, like deep breaths.
Nice.
And even through in between rounds as well too. We do that. You know, I don't tell them what to do. I don't even give him water. The minute the round stops,
We're breathing.
he's breathing
Yeah.
already.
Or no
And then
stool.
we have this thing that also helps psychologically against the other guys. He never
Fucking
sits
just stare
down.
at him or what?
He doesn't
Sit
sit
down.
down.
Yeah.
I don't even
damn.
go in the ring. I don't use a
shit.
stool. We don't use a bucket. Nothing.
I love that.
I love it too.
He just turns.
We never do it.
Yeah.
And then
So-
he does his breathing
Dude,
exercise.
Do your legs get tired at all, Leon?
No,
I
honestly,
mean, you're
no.
still fucking young. But
Yeah.
like, how many,
And that's part of the
what's the
drill.
max amount of rounds have you gone like in a fight?
done
So-
12 rounds.
12
I've done
rounds.
12, yeah.
Yeah. And just fucking
Sparring-wise.
standing like that, like
In a Zen 5-minute rounds.
in the corner.
Yeah, I done that. I done like 15 rounds there, and that's 5-minute rounds,
Bro,
At Zen.
nonstop. Yeah.
that's fucking gross, dude.
It's horrible. It's fun, but it's horrible.
Yeah, it's fun.
Punishment, but you guys are having a great time.
Yeah.
What's one thing that you wouldn't think is associated with fighting, or like what's one thing that you can bring to help you out? Like right now, you were talking about breathing. That's one thing that many people don't think of. It's like, oh, you finish a round, you go to your corner, yeah, you get your instruction, get some water, whatever. Obviously, you need to breathe, but there's specific techniques on how to recover in between rounds or whatever. What's one thing that you guys have learned that you would never thought is a part of the fight game?
That's a good one.
That
If
is.
it's psychological, if it's
So
technical,
I think
physical.
that really depends on the person. Like
Yeah.
I'm a happy fighter, right? There's guys just and there's a picture where this guy's he's walking by and he's looking all like at me, and the ref's pointing at me and asking him if I'm ready, and I'm all yeah, right, and I'm smiling, and that guy said that was the scariest part of the fight. I was like, why? He goes, you're happy with this. I hit you in the face, and you're all, and if I'm not having fun and I'm not happy, I'm not a good fighter. I'm an okay fighter, right?
Yeah.
But if I'm happy and having fun, watch out, man. You're gonna have a tough day. So one time, my coach, it was really loud, and he could tell that I was just not having fun after that round. So he put music that he knew I liked, stuck it right by my ear, set it on my shoulder and he goes, "Hey, man, are you having fun?" And I went, And he goes, "No, man, you need to have some fun. Get that beat in your head." And I just started getting the beat in my head, and that was my cornering for that whole round. I got some water. All right, man, let's go have fun, right? And I went and fought. Other guys, you got to motivate them to get them, like, angry,
Yeah.
right? I had a guy that we were in San Antonio, and after the first round, he comes back and goes, "Did I win that round?" "Don't freaking worry about that round. We're worried about round 2. And I started going off, right? And then he sat down. The second round, between the third round, he sat down. And so the fourth round, the guy puts the chair up. I kicked the chair out of the ring, like out into the crowd, which is not smart of me, but I kicked it out of the ring. "I want you to puke. Do you understand me? You want to win this fight, you have to puke. Punch so many times you puke. What do I want you to do?" "You want me to puke? I want you to punch until you puke." He went out there and just clobbered this dude, right? And the guy started to like try and tackle him, so he pushed him down. So the ref said it was a slip because he pushed him. He was rocked bad. If he'd have just backed up, the guy would have fallen.
Yeah.
He got sad because he was like, I heard him. And then the next round, he's just all, or the rest of the round, he's slow. And I was all screaming puke, screaming at puke. And at the end, he comes over and goes, "What do you think?" I go, "You didn't freaking puke." I was like, if you're going to, you want me to corner you, do what I'm saying to do. Punch till you can't punch anymore, till your body gives up and throws up. You can go that long. Let me see you do it. And he could have won that fight. He got a draw, but he could have won that fight just by not quitting, and we got to figure out ways. I got to figure out ways to motivate him, right? And Jerry's got to figure out ways to motivate him. Some people get so antsy that they just got to be like classical music, chill, go take a nap. I can't take a nap. I'm up all day. I'm like,
It sounds like yours is positivity, or
For me,
you're bringing in that happiness,
joking.
Yeah. As far as Leon over here,
I'm actually still looking for that right now. Yeah.
We played a lot of things with him.
Yeah, it's a mix with Leon.
Yeah.
Depending where we're going, how long the trip was, what kind of tournament it is, if it's a 2-3 day tournament. But for the most part, I like to have them, chill, listen to some music, go stretch out, meditate if we have the time, and then, but he knows how to turn it on when it's time
When
to
I'm
turn
in
it on.
there, yeah.
I was gonna ask you, Leon, like, how is it, and this is for you as well, how is it to, you're yelling at your fighter over here, puke, 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 but as a fighter, how much trust do you have to have with your trainer, your coach, whoever's in your corner in that moment? Like, how much do you give them? Because, like, I would think, like, when you're yelling puke, 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 he has to be 100% in with everything you're saying.
Yep.
Because he knows best. He's looking, like, going back to the sparring. He has your back.
Yep.
But sometimes we think fighting is an individual sport. It's all on one guy. How much trust do you have to have with your coach?
So I say you gotta have more than 100%, because it's basically he's looking over your safety as well. So it's just like he knows what's best for you. He's on the outside. He could see the angles that you don't even see. So you just got to put in all your trust into him.
And it takes time too.
Yeah.
When I first started coaching him, he would understand all the words that I would say. Now I don't even have to finish what I say. I'll just say one thing, he already knows. And it also extends from training, doing the drills, and sparring, right? When he realizes that when he listens to me or listens to Randy when he's with us, and he does it, and he's doing good, then he knows, okay, well, I got to listen to my coach.
Randy, has there ever been a time when you've gone into the ring when it's not exactly 100% with your cornerman?
Yeah, so I've had a few rough times with different cornermen. The worst time, I had popped my Achilles, and so after my Achilles healed, I accepted a fight a month after they released me from my time. And I went to Dallas, Texas, and I went and fought. And this dude was a big boy. And he punched me, and he hit me in the chest, and my feet came out from underneath me, and I just landed on the ground. I wasn't rocked or nothing, but I was like, oh my gosh, this guy hits hard.
Yeah.
Right? I got back up. I'm fighting. He drops me again. Drops me twice in the first round. I come back to the corner, and the cornerman was a coach at our gym, but I had never had him corner me before, but he's the only one available for this fight. And he comes up, he goes, beautiful job, exactly where he wanted. Right? And I stopped listening to him, and I started looking at everything else. And I completely ignored him. I went back in there, and the guy threw a hook and hit my eardrum and popped my eardrum. Blood was running out of my ear and everything. And so I lost my equilibrium. The ref called the stop to it. And I was doomed. Like, I need, anytime that I'm in a fight, I don't care how badly I've been beat up. I'm not stupid. I know whenever I'm losing, or lost that round or whatever. My goal is, what am I going to do next round to be able to win this next round, to figure out a way to finish this dude every time.
Do you feel as a fighter sometimes you don't need a fucking cheerleader, you need a coach. You need somebody. You need someone who's going to give you the fucking truth.
Yeah.
You're like, yo, dude, if I'm not doing what I need to do to get me through this round or get me through this fight, let me know. And sometimes, there are those motivational guys, those guys tripping in your ears.
Well, Ronda Rousey's a great example of that. Did you see her fight against Holly Holm?
Yeah.
Her corner was the worst cornering. Oh, my gosh. Right where we want him. You're doing this and you're doing that. And she's just pummeled, man. It's like, no. Yeah. Take her down. Quit trying to spar with the world champion and submit her. Right? That was wild, right? But it was so frustrating to hear the corner lie to her straight through their teeth. Is like, why would you say that to her?
What do you think it is in that moment? Do you think it's she's in a team that's supporting her? Yes. That's what I was gonna get to. Is it a team that's, because there's obviously a gravy train going on right there,
right?
And they don't want they don't want to lose it, Right. So and that's it right there. She surrounded her. I mean, I don't want to speak for her. I don't want to speak for any fighter like that. But it seemed like maybe they surrounded her with a bunch of yes men, a bunch of people that were gonna, just ride her. Like whatever it was.
There has to be a balance, though, right? Like,
I need. Jerry's seen some fights of mine that he's like, "Ugh." He's like, this is gonna be a tough fight, Randy, right? And he doesn't want to tell me no because I'm freaking gonna take it anyway. but
he
he's
knows
gonna be there
my
to
opinion.
support, and then he's gonna look for ways for me to win. Period. We gotta find everybody's. All I gotta do is hit you right. So what is right? Where is the spots that I need to do to slow you down? And that's the outside. They're basically playing human video games. Throw your left, throw your right, and do these things. Put your hand here. He keeps catching you with this. Put your freaking hand up, And if you follow those things, like, oh, they put the hand up? Okay. Oh, wow, I blocked and I didn't get all dizzy.
Man, it's funny because like that's exactly what coaching is. Like I teach little kids golf all the time, and like they're trying to do something, and I'm like, watch, if you just do this,
And they go, oh, wow, it
watch
worked.
what happens, and like, they'll do it, and the ball will just launch, and they'll like look back at me like,
Yeah.
and it's probably like a boxer, like, yo, put your fucking hands up, and like,
Yeah.
it's funny because you think that you're putting your hands up, but you're not really doing it. It's
Yeah,
like-
normally you touch your cheeks here, and then you start to spar, and you're
Yeah,
fighting, and
and
your
you
hands are down
fucking-
here, and they're like,
yeah,
hands up, my hands are up.
Yeah.
You don't even notice it. Yeah.
It's the funniest thing. Like I'll record them and be like, "You're doing this," and I'm like, "No, you're not." And it's like, "Okay, watch," and then boom, and I'll like, "Are you
It's the
You
exact
listen to
same
me
thing
now? Like,
with sparring.
now listen
you
to
know?
me?" And it's like,
Right.
yeah, the exact same
It's this,
thing.
the exact same thing with sparring. Sometimes we'll record him sparring, and I'll be like, look what you did here. That's
Especially
exactly
as-
what you
yeah,
need to be
especially
doing.
as the player, bro.
Yeah,
you, like,
Well, same thing.
you don't
At
think you're
times-
making these mistakes.
Yeah, you don't even notice it.
Yeah,
At
right.
times we'll be sparring, like I set him up a lot, right?
Yeah.
I've sparred a lot longer than him. I follow, so and he's very, very talented, right? So we'll be sparring, and I do setups. When I first started sparring with him, I just kept doing the same combination because he wasn't blocking it, right? Now I have to do a setup, got to do a setup. Then I hit him with something, and he goes, oh, and I'm like, this is what I did. And I tell him right then in the middle of it, this is how I set you up. He's like, okay, and I'm trying to get him to understand that so he could set other people up. So, other people up. Wow, said that.
And it's also breaking it down too.
There's a combination in there somewhere.
And it's also said, and then after the sparring, we'll sit, right? And then we'll talk about, oh, look, this is what you did, or this is what you didn't do, right?
Yeah.
So to avoid that, so we break it down. It's not just, I'll get in there and punch them in the face. It's not about that.
Yeah.
There's a technique. There's a reason to the madness, right?
Does
There's
a
a
sparring session have like a certain, I guess, end goal? Like, I mean, yeah, you're gonna go and spar. I mean, is it working on conditioning? Is it working on
yes.
maybe like
There's always one thing we're gonna work on,
Cool.
or a few things. Like I'll be like, okay, so remember that drill we did? That's all I want you to do.
yeah, just like nothing. But
Because
jabs, like,
sparring,
Yeah.
is sparring,
Just jab.
sparring. It's practice. It's
Yeah.
not always about winning.
Right.
You get these guys that want to go sparring and they just want to go because I want to win, right? So no, it's
Just like a gym really
sparring.
putting
Sparring.
that-
It's not about winning.
Yeah.
It's
Gymwins.com
practice.
doesn't matter.
right. It's about practice, And when it works, then he sees it. Okay. Okay. I see where that worked. So I could do it like this. And sometimes he'll even say, I think I could do this after this. And I'm like, yep, do it. If it worked and you connect it, then go ahead and do it.
At it.
It's a fucking learning game, man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
literally. It's
The bad part is it's a learning game where you get punched in the head.
But that's the best part of it, I think, right?
So it's kind of like you golfing and drinking at the
Dude,
same time.
you fucking-
The slower you get, the
Yeah.
I don't know.
The more courage I get, the shittier golf I play.
Right.
That's right.
Hey, drinking and golf, that's like the best thing ever.
You gotta hit that fine line.
Drinking too much and the game just goes to shit.
yeah.
you're just getting downhill.
Playing golf is
Yeah, that's Peter's game right there. All right, so I'm gonna ask you guys. So before we started the show, I told you all that I was a huge boxing fan back in the day, and as of late, it's been really, really hard for me to get back into it. So I want each of you guys' opinions, and don't hold back, man. Whatever it is, you feel, you think I'm full of shit, tell me, man. What do you think? What do you think MMA? The state that they're in MMA, boxing, or if it's bare knuckle, combat sports in general. What do you think of it? Are you happy where it's at the amateur level, professional level? What do you guys think of it? What are your thoughts on it as of right now?
Again, boxing and MMA are two totally different worlds. You know.
All right, let's start with boxing. Let's start with boxing.
Boxing, I feel like it needs to get better. You know what I mean? It's like how we were talking about before, where you're moving up the ranks and you're number 1 or number 2. Guess who you're gonna fight next? You're gonna fight the champ, right? And that's what I believe that it how it needs to be.
Yeah.
Like in MMA, you move up the rank and you're number 1, you're gonna fight the champ.
Yeah.
Right? Unless, you know, nowadays we're seeing where the champ says no or whatever, holds back. But technically, that's how it is in MMA. Like you move up, you're in Bellator, Fury, or whatever, LFA. You're the champ. Your job is to fight everybody else that's coming up the ranks, right? So it should be with boxing. Boxing used to be that way a long time ago. Now we have, you know, these kids who become champs and they don't want to fight the next person coming up, right? Oh, because I don't want to lose my belt.
It's a bad matchup.
Or I have, or I'm 15-0 and I don't want to lose, right? So yeah, I believe that the professional boxing needs to improve, right? Also because you have so many different organizations like WBC, WBO, IBF, WBF, and each of them have like 24 different weight classes with like 24 different freaking belts.
Yeah, literally.
You know what I mean? So, I mean, I get it that, you know, some of them, they're in the one weight class. Excuse me, sorry. And then they unify all of them. They unify all of them, right?
Yeah.
So they get like 5 different belts. But I believe that it should be way better than it is.
Yeah.
You know, instead of the business that it is. And that's why so many people are moving from, you know, they went from Golden Boy to the Zone, like Canelo, and now he's left the Zone. Canelo left the Zone and signed with PBC.
Okay.
You know, and that's, you know, and it's also because, I guess, money talks, right?
Yeah,
That's true.
yeah. So here's my thing. I think there's a few different aspects to it. Is like you said, you have IBF, WBO, WBA, WBC, all these different organizations, right? Got that one aspect. Then you have the streaming services as well as the companies out there. You have you know, you have the ESPNs, the Showtimes, you know, the CBS, PBCs, whatever. And then you also have like the promotions itself, you know, the Matchroom Boxing, Golden Boy, Top Rank. So there's 3 different things that are all trying to work into one. And when that happens, you get main fights delayed years and years. Like, people are talking about this Canelo-Charlo fight.
Yeah.
That's a fight that should have happened like 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah, like 6 years ago, actually.
When they were both in their prime.
Right.
When they were both the top guys. Now, Charlo's still undefeated, still has that name, but it's fizzled out because of personal problems or whatever he's had. Canelo, he went on his tear and everything, but it's clearly 2 guys that are it sounds stupid for me to say past their prime, but they're past their prime. Like Canelo, he's still elite. He's still one of the best out there.
Yeah.
However, he's trending down now.
Right.
So, but see, that's a problem, and it kind of alludes back to what you were talking about was, you know, these guys are, you know, trying to take care of their records and they're using their records as leverage and things like that. And you may have about 4 or 5 fighters that are all calling themselves world champ, the best in the division, and then yet they never fight each other. You have, you know, in one division you have Munguia, you have I can't think of that guy's name right now off the top of my head, but there's about
Matias.
Who was that?
Matias. Uriel Matias.
Yeah, and but there's like 4 guys in that division. Then you go down a little bit lower, you have the guys like Terrence Crawford, Errol Spence. They're finally gonna get in the ring together. But
that
that's
was another fight. That
But
should
that's
have
another
happened
fight
years ago.
that should have happened 4 years ago, 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like, yeah, when we started the podcast, we were talking about that.
Yeah.
And then there was a car accident that happened. There was this that happened.
Yeah.
But like, and then in the lower divisions, you have, you know, Tank Davis. You have fucking Shakur. What is it? Shakur Stevenson. Devin Haney, Lomachenko. You got all these guys, but no one fights each other. You know, like.
Or they get screwed by the judges.
Yeah, exactly. That was
Let's talk about that too.
Yeah. And so like, but it's just crazy to have so many divisions. Like, it's one thing, like you brought up the divisions. You have so many divisions, but then in those divisions, nobody fights each other. So it's like, it's hard for a fan of the sport to like follow it if, you know, the best aren't fighting the best.
Right.
And it's frustrating. Like, how would you guys feel? And I'm talking about like a lover of sports. How would you feel if, you know, the Kansas City Chiefs never took on the Philadelphia Eagles? You know, there's no Super Bowl.
Right.
No, they talked the talk for 1, 2, 3, 4 years, but they never got together. So ultimately, there's no champion, right? It's just like, well, we beat this team and we beat that team. And that's the frustrating part. I mean, what do you guys think about that right now?
That's you called it. I mean, it's frustrating. You know, there's fights that the fans want to see that, like you said, it should have happened 4, 6 years ago. You know, and now we have to wait till now.
But what do you think is the problem? Is it the organizations? Is it the promotions? Is it the?
It's all of the above.
The channels? Is it the?
It's all of the above.
I agree.
It comes down to pay as well, right?
all of
So
the
we were
above.
supposed to have bare knuckle in Cruces, and this month we are supposed to have it, and it didn't get through. And their official reason was they postponed it. BKFC postponed it. The unofficial reason is because the main line wasn't getting the money he wanted. He felt he was taking too many losses on that card. And I'm like, you just had 12 fights, all of which would have made some sort of money, not make any money because you didn't get the money you wanted. And that's frustrating too. It's like, if you really want to fight, you're saying you want to be active, you say you want to fight. On the other side of that, promotions should pay their people right. You hear of like multi-million-dollar fights and stuff like that. That's 1 or 2 fights, right? The rest of those fights, they don't get that type of money. I'm not asking to be making $1 million per fight, but make it a fair amount that you're going, okay, this is worth it. You know, I'm fighting a dangerous person. Give me good money.
Yeah.
I'm fighting. You're the main event. You should get good money, not just. There's places that they've offered me $800 to fight the main event the day of the weigh-in. I'm like, no. Oh, he wants too much money because, dude, it's tomorrow's the fight. I haven't even prepared for this guy, you know. And well, but you're ready. I didn't say I wasn't ready. I'm saying I didn't prepare for him.
Yeah.
And you want me to jump in there for $800? No.
Yeah, it's
You
like,
know?
again, it goes, like I said, it's all of the above, right? Because you have the promotions, right? Let's say Top Rank and Golden Boy, right? And they have their top guys, right? And again, egos, management, right? It's two promotions, two promoters,
Too many moving parts.
right?
Yeah.
And then the fighters got their managers too that they got to, you know what I'm saying? So everybody's like, I want to make more, I want to make more, I want to make more. You know, which is smart, right? You want to get paid, you want to get as much money as you want, right? But are you a real fighter? Are you a real fighter though? You know, did you build yourself to that level without taking any fights? Like, there's a lot of people that you see that are undefeated right now. They're pro boxers, but where are they? Nobody knows who the fuck they are because they're too scared to fight big names.
So I'll give you one. I was gonna ask you the question like, how does it get fixed? In all honesty, I don't think it ever gets fixed.
No,
I think
it
it's
will
just-
never get fixed.
it's
It
a
will
broken-
never get
it's
fixed.
It's a broken fucking system, and I think there's a lot of promotions out there that are clearly in it for the money, and they'll pop up, fucking get their money, close that shit down. Another one pops up, gets their money, close that shit down, whatever. But one thing I did want to bring up with you, like, Pat and I, we saw the fight between Tank Davis and Ryan Garcia, and I was stoked for it. And I enjoyed it. I did. I saw a lot of hate about one fighter in particular, and it was Ryan Garcia. A lot of people were just clowning on him, shedding on him, hating him for. First, they were saying this guy doesn't fight anyone. He promotes himself like he's the shit. But then he goes in and fights one of the best fighters in the world, and he's clearly in over his head. But it's like, well, what do you want? Like, first you say this guy doesn't fight anyone. Then when he does go in and then he fights a guy, then you shit on him and say, like, oh, he wasn't ready for it. Well, what did he think? He never fought any world champions or anything, things like that. And then you have the other aspect where he putting up I believe, a competitive fight, an entertaining fight. Gets hit, goes down, and again, people are like, man, he took a fall or whatever. He fucking didn't want to get up. And so there were so many things, so much negativity. But I was like, for one, I will never, I never try to shit on fighters because
You did.
No, but like, I never try to shit on fighters because one, I've never been in that game. Like, you know, there's things that I do that people know nothing about the world that I'm in, right? And when they put in their 2 cents, it's frustrating. It's stupid.
Yeah. No.
But I was trying to think is like, I, for one, respected Ryan Garcia for going in, doing his thing. You can't say he's trying to protect his record because he went in there. Yeah, he had an undefeated record. He was by far one of the most popular fighters, despite the fact of what people thought. Like, oh,
but they also didn't take. They haven't taken the people that are whining have not taken a body shot.
Yeah,
and those body shots are
or cut weight.
Yeah, cut weight didn't take.
So
dehydration clause.
So that was like one of the things was like, well, you can't clown a guy for jumping in there with a fighter that's more experienced than him and everything, where he was gonna be the underdog, but then you're upset when a fight like Terrence Crawford, Errol Spence comes 5-6 years later, or a Charlo Canelo fight comes, you know. So which one is it? And I think that's a problem too with fans, that they want to see the best fights, but at the same time they want the superstar, the super fights.
Right.
And it's like back in the 80s and 90s, you had a lot of guys. Like, who are some of the names that come out in your head in the 90s and stuff, and in the early 2000s? Some of these fighters, you have, you know, the Chavez, the De La Hoyas, you had the Fernando Vargas, the Shane Mosleys,
Roy Jones,
all these guys, Roy Jones and everything. Then if you really think about it, which ones were really undefeated? There was only one guy that was undefeated, and that's Floyd Mayweather. But as far as every other boxer, the Manny Pacquiao, the Juan Manuel Marquez, you know, all these other guys,
they all have losses.
And they all have losses. The Barreras, the Morales, they all have losses. But it's because they fought each other.
Right.
So I think we have to come back to that age for the sport to prosper.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Agree.
You guys,
I agree, but I don't think it'll ever happen now.
Yeah.
You know, ever since Floyd Mayweather, you know, that's just how it is. You know, so
yeah.
So, but yeah, we're hoping that things would turn that way, where we get the fights that should be happening, right?
America boxing.
There we go.
I should make a hat, huh?
Yeah. Last time we had Gerry on the show, he was a little frustrated with one fighter in particular, and I call him fighter because, again, he steps into the ring, he does his thing. But Gerry was pretty upset. He had his opinions about this fighter, Jake Paul.
Yes.
Okay, what's going on there? Do you have respect for him now, Gerry? Well, what's the deal?
I have respect for him for the things that he's doing for the sport. Let's just say that.
Oh, that's it.
That's it.
Well, you know, and he's learning. He's getting better. You know, no offense, right?
Yeah.
But once we got to see him box somebody
Yeah.
relevant.
Well, what do you think?
Somebody that
What do you think of the who was it? Tommy Fury when he fought Fury? What do you think of that?
was actually, I was pretty impressed.
Yeah.
I was pretty impressed, right? But again, Tommy Fury.
Yeah.
That's. I still didn't think that was a.
But
I mean,
but it's also a guy that's starting his
right. He's
career.
exactly.
So, like,
also starting. too.
My thing is, you can't hate on a guy just because he has popularity.
Right.
You know, like
Sure, you can.
Okay, if one day. Yeah.
And I have a lot of respect for Jake Paul, not only because of what he's doing with the sport, all this charities that he's helping,
Yeah.
making Amanda Serrano a millionaire, that's unheard of pretty much,
Yeah.
other than Michaela Mayer, right? But yeah, like I said, you can't. I hate on him because of his YouTube persona prior to what he's doing, right? And then he's just knocking out old boxers, and they're not even real boxers per se.
Yeah.
They're MMA guys.
Yeah.
So that's what we want. We want to see him actually box somebody
Yeah.
other than Tommy Fury, which he's building himself up, which is great. But like I said, I respect him because for all the things that he's doing in the game.
So what do you have to say about the exhibitions that are kind of going on at the moment? You have Floyd Mayweather that's been doing these exhibitions, fighting guys you've never even heard of. Like, and I say never even heard of because like we don't know that sport. That fighter may have participated in if he was a kickboxer or whatever, and then they kind of do this little event. What do you have to say about those? Does it upset you? Does it frustrate you?
Honestly, no. I guess it's good for some fans, that want to see Floyd Mayweather beat up on a kickboxing kid. You know what I mean? I guess that's a good thing. And again, they're making money. I mean, if it's there, why not? But that's what they're for. They're an exhibition.
Yeah.
We want to see actual fights that are gonna move you up, rank you up.
So after Roy Jones kind of stopped fighting for competitively, he would get hired by like rich guys to knock them out. It was weird. They would hire him for like $250,000. They would pay him, right? Hey, I'll give you $250,000 to spar with me. All right, and he'd knock them out in one round.
Yeah.
And then he'd get his $250,000, and he'd go to the next rich guy that wanted. I sparred with Roy Jones Jr. Yeah, you did. So I mean, it's kind of like that. You get your money, man. Got by Roy Jones. But that's the same thing. It's still just an exhibition. It doesn't count for nothing. So do what you're gonna do. You're making your money.
And that's how they started too. You know what I mean? You never know.
Yeah.
You never know. Kind of like these YouTubers started.
Yeah.
Look at what Jake Paul is doing, right? They started, let's beat each other up. They never even boxed, right? It worked. They made money.
Yeah.
But look at what Jake Paul is doing now. He's actually training.
Yeah.
Right? He's actually competing. These other guys, I made my money.
Yeah.
That also proves who really wants to fight.
Yeah.
Hey, you gotta start somewhere, right?
That was going to be my question. The big one right now is Elon Musk versus Mark Zuckerberg. And what is your guys' take on? Do you think they're kind of mocking the sport? Do you think it brings a light to the sport? Maybe people that weren't into it. Maybe
I think millions of people are gonna pay to watch it if it actually happens.
Who do you think is going to win? Who would you? I'll play this little video here. This is Mark Zuckerberg. There's not much of Elon Musk training.
Well, Mark Zuckerberg is doing some jiu-jitsu.
Yes.
So, I mean, I guess if it takes Elon Musk down,
Elon Musk is gonna call him a rocket or some shit.
Yeah.
So this is Mark Zuckerberg right here training, and it seems like he's
learning. He's learning some good jiu-jitsu. He's even done some tournaments and everything.
We should watch this here.
Yeah, we should.
That'd be so funny.
But I don't know about Elon Musk. I've never seen him hit pads or anything. So to be honest, You know,
I heard he did like karate
but
or
Mark
like
Zuckerberg is actually, what is he doing?
Elon done like karate and like taekwondo or something. I think like that.
Oh yeah, isn't he? Isn't George St. Pierre offered to train?
Yeah, he
You're
offered
gonna
Elon
train him
Musk?
too. Yeah.
So that side of it's kind of funny and cool, and it's just as a fighter, it kind of bothers me because I want that money. I want to get to be able to get those types of fights and be like, man, you guys already have enough money.
Right.
We'll just
He's gonna build the boxing arena just for him to fight.
Yeah.
That's pretty.
It's just crazy why they would even want to fight with all the money that they make. Like, what's the point? What's the end game?
But I mean, everybody gets irritated. I don't know what they're irritated with each other on, but you get pissed off at somebody and you go, man, I would love to fight him.
Yeah.
They have the money, they'll we'll fight you either in UFC or whatever. They're like, all right,
They can build their own.
we can make money off of this.
They got so much money. They got so much money. They can build their own promotion
Yeah.
just for that one fight.
Yeah.
You know. So.
I guess the only thing Elon got from is he's got the weight and the height over
Yeah.
Mark. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but weight isn't always a good
Right.
thing.
Out of shape, probably.
Yeah.
Before we let you guys go, is there anything that you want to kind of like give a shout out, promote, whatever?
Just a shout out to all the gyms, local gyms, Zen Martial Arts, El Paso Boxing for always having us, Briggs, Doñana Boxing, also to my sponsors, Impact Mouth Guards. You know, make sure y'all get protected with that. Also, their tape. Go ahead and make sure y'all get it. You can buy your shirts. This is from Impact as well.
Like that shirt.
You guys can use my code CutmanBurgos10. Get a discount. Also, my brand new sponsor, No Mercy, out of Albuquerque. Want to thank them too.
Yeah, just follow me on Instagram, bdp.lightning, and my brand, doing.player. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah, I should have some coming up July 7th, I think. Yeah, soon, and then hopefully we do the one in Colorado, the last qualifiers, in August.
The one on the 7th, is that here?
Yeah, that one's gonna be in Cruces. Yeah.
And for me, I'm still bugging BKFC trying to get on the card in Albuquerque on the August 11th. But there's nothing holding back other than somebody accepting a fight with an old white guy. But we'll try our best to do it.
We'll fucking contact Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg.
Let's do it. I'll do either one of those. I really would like to fight Conor McGregor since he's been having all the roids and everything. He's all big and buff. Let's fight, man. That'd be fun.
All right.
I would fight him.
Okay. Here's a question for you guys. So, what's your dream fight? Is it the Conor McGregor?
Heck yeah.
Yeah?
I would love to beat that leprechaun up.
All right.
That'd be fun.
Nice.
Leon, what would your dream fight? I know you're just getting started and everything, but
I'll say
what's the
Canelo.
dream? Canelo?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. And Gerry, what's the dream for you, man?
Land one of these big promotions. You know, I think other than working with big names as a cut man, I think my main goal is to land a big promotion like Bellator or UFC as a cut man. That's going to be a long road to get to, but that's pretty much the cut man's dream job.
Yeah,
it's to land a promotion.
All right.
That's right.
All right. Chase him.
Oh yeah. All right, Anthony. Anything you want to add before we close up?
No, man, just thank you guys for coming, man. It's nice to get some guests in here. We haven't had guests in a while, so it's definitely been awesome. Appreciate you guys' time and everything. It's kind of nice to see it's kind of nice to see different perspectives, different levels and stuff, so it's awesome, man. Thank you guys for coming.
No, thank you guys for having
Thank
us
you.
again.
Appreciate it.
Pat.
Oh, man, it's good to do this again. This therapy session, I need it every now and then. So it's good to talk to some homies. But
Let's go do some
man,
backyard boxing.
I wish you guys all the best, and hopefully we get to see you guys again.
Yeah, for sure, guys. Thank
Definitely.
you. Thank you.
So yeah, I mean, with all that said, guys, it was really fun. This was awesome. Gerry, if you ever want to come back in and just shoot the shit, bring in some more guys. I mean, I love it. I love interviewing people. I love talking to people, just hearing conversations, going back and forth. But like, you always have a platform here with us. So whenever, just reach out, and we'll be more than happy to
Awesome.
have
Thank
you
you
guys
guys.
on the show. All
Thank
right.
you guys.
With that being said, this was Middles Open.
Yeah. Thanks a lot, guys.